Let me take you back to 2002 when our dear Swami visited the Radiosai Global Harmony studios. And at that time, among the different things that he said, what he said was, and that God is sweetness personified. Go ahead, break off the foot and eat it, Swami said. And to his surprise, the professor found that he could easily break off the granite foot. And when he put it in his mouth, it was sweet sugar candy. Well, the theme of this talk is how do we get discipline and focus on Swami in this age of growing science and technology. Well, remove that last part, in this age of growing science and technology. How do we get focus on Swami and discipline in our spirituality? That much is enough, because that remains the same throughout the ages. Sai Ram. Years ago, when the COVID-19 pandemic struck the entire world, India came up with an innovation in order to ensure payments are made in the most contactless manner. No currency notes, no cards. India came up with UPI, or the United Payments Interface. With multiple apps on one's own mobile phone, people could now just transfer the exact amounts of money, even the smallest, as small as 1 rupee, to another person with absolutely no fees, no charges. Amazing, right? And this technology revolutionized the way of payment so much that today, in 2025, if you come to India, it's very hard to make payments in cash or credit card. Everybody is using UPI. Interestingly, the chocolate and confectioneries manufacturing companies noticed that there has been a sudden and drastic fall in the sale of their small chocolates and toffees. And they wondered, why is this happening? Can you believe it? This is because of UPI. Yes, you see, in the era before UPI came into existence, people would often pay money, and when the shopkeepers didn't have small change, or they acted as if they didn't have small change, they would give a few toffees and small chocolates and say that it's done. With the advent of the UPI, this kind of giving toffees and small chocolates as change completely stopped because of being able to pay the exact amounts, and therefore the sales, the revenues from chocolates and toffees for all these major big companies dropped. Unintended consequences of technology. Technology, science, they are constantly evolving. Technology is nothing but the application of science. But when it evolves, along with the intended causes for which we make it evolve, it brings unintended consequences like this. Let's take the simple example of the mobile phone. Without delving into details, I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say that, in summary, the reasons why the mobile technology came forth and why we developed it so much is so that we could remain connected however far we go. And the second is that it will save us a lot of time so that we can pursue other hobbies, other activities. What has happened, in fact, is that the mobile phone has succeeded in alienating many of us. It has made us farther away from each other, and it has become the biggest time consumer, isn't it? And as I said, this technology is constantly evolving. We didn't stop at the mobile phones. We have now the watches, and now we have spectacles with a technology that the mobile phone can use. And people are now speaking of implants into the ears and the head directly, so that we don't need any device and we ourselves become mobile phones. So there is not going to be an end to the development and progress of science and technology. How then do we ensure spiritual discipline and our focus on our beloved Bhagawan, Sri Sathya Sai Baba, our Lord, our Guru, our Master, and ensure that we don't get distracted? Let me take you back to 2002 when our dear Swami visited the Radiosai Global Harmony studios. And at that time, among the different things that he said, what he said was, I have got nothing to gain or lose from this. This meaning this Radiosai Global Harmony and this entire technology of media communication. But if you think it will help you progress, it will help you grow spiritually, you are welcome to use it and grow. So you see, even this, whether it's the internet, the computer, the technology, Radiosai, it also, like the hospitals and other institutions that Swami started, was not for his benefit. They are all for us to benefit. Now, I am stating this episode because it gives me hope and confidence that yes, science and technology can assist us to grow in our spiritual ventures, in our spiritual adventures. Otherwise, Swami would not have mentioned it when he came to Radiosai. So now the next question is, how do we use this science and technology so that it helps us in our spiritual discipline and growth towards Swami? First of all, we need to understand how to make technology a friend and not an enemy. What is a friend? What is an enemy? Swami defines it very clearly. Swami says, a true friend is he or she who takes you towards God, towards your life's ultimate goal. And as a corollary, we can state that our enemy is he or she or it that takes us away from God, away from the ultimate goal of life. And therefore, in order to make science and technology our friend, I think we need to make it take us closer to Swami rather than away from Swami towards the world. Now, when you want to go towards something, you need to know where it is. You need to know the address, right? So also when I say we need to go towards God, what is the address of God? What is God? Who is God? Where is God? We need to understand that. And for that, let me take you to a beautiful beach in coastal Karnataka. One fine morning in Puttaparthi, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba was strolling along the sands with Dr. Y.J. Rao, the head of Department of Geology at the Osmania University in Andhra Pradesh. Now, as Swami was walking, he casually bent down and picked up a piece of granite. Just like this. And then showing it to this geologist. He's the head of Department of Geology, right? The professor. So he asked him, what is this? What is this made of? He said, Swami, that is a piece of granite. And he then named the different minerals that constitute the stone. Swami said, I want you to go deeper. What is there deeper? He said, Swami, at a deeper level, it is made of molecules and atoms. Swami said, no, go deeper, further. Swami, further if I go, there are protons, there are electrons. No, deeper. He said, I don't know, Swami. Swami then held it up like this for him in plain sight and breathed on it thrice and then handed to him. All this while that granite stone was right in front of him. But when it was in his hand, he noticed that it was a beautiful idol of Lord Shri Krishna. Then Swami told, do you understand, Professor, that much beyond your science, much beyond your minerals, molecules, atoms, electrons and protons, at the very basis, there is God in everything. And that God is sweetness personified. Go ahead, break off the foot and eat it, Swami said. And to his surprise, the professor found that he could easily break off the granite foot. And when he put it in his mouth, it was sweet sugar candy. These are mysteries that open our eyes to the grandeur of God. It makes us wonder whether, despite all these progresses that we have made in terms of science and technology, relatively we feel in the last 100 years we have progressed tremendously in technology and science. But maybe all these advancements are nothing but collecting pebbles and sands on this vast seashore called divinity. Divinity is much more grand, much more deep and much more vast, and it beckons us to explore and go beyond science and technology. Whenever we speak of science and technology as spiritual aspirants, this is a perspective that we must always hold very clearly in our thoughts and our hearts. Having understood that God or that supreme consciousness permeates everything and everyone in this universe, in order to get to know him or her or it, we should realize that technology can only assist, it can never be a complete guide. Why? Because technology and science both come in the realms of the mind and the senses, whereas spirituality and this divine consciousness is beyond the mind and the senses. We can never truly trust the senses to comprehend reality. Do you want to do a reality check about that? Well, let's start with our eyes. Have a look at this image. Tell me which part is bright, which part is dark. Very easy, right? In fact, the brightest spot in the darkest area possibly is the darkest spot in the brightest area. That's what we feel, right? But this is such an illusion. Simply cover the central portion which is fooling us, and lo and behold, we see it is the one and the same. It is just like this world of Maya where everyone and everything appears to be different, diversity. But when we have that central perspective, we realize that everyone is the same. Now, having checked the eyes, let's go to our ears, the other important organ of perception. Now, listen to this audio and tell me what is the word being spoken.
Laurel, 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 laurel.
I personally heard laurel and my wife heard it as yani, and this audio was a source of argument between us for a couple of hours. What is the truth? Is it yani or is it laurel? Our ears are not foolproof and they are not the perfect instruments to comprehend reality. Let's go to the nose. I'm having a cold now. I'm not able to smell so many things. The nose fails me. Even then, the nose is not useful in distinguishing what is good and bad. Swami tells us the story of a fisherwoman and a flower selling lady who were friends, who were stuck in the rain and had to go to the flower seller's home to sleep. The fisherwoman says, I'm not able to sleep because the stench of jasmine is keeping me awake. Can you believe that? Stench of jasmine. So what does this fisherwoman do? She keeps her basket, empty basket in which she used to keep fishes, and there is that smell, or I would say stench of fish in it. And she keeps smelling that through the night and goes to bed. So which is a good smell, which is a bad smell? The nose also fails. So also our skin, our tongue, all our senses fail in telling us what is reality. And that is why science and technology can at best assist in taking us towards God, and they can never be the complete guide and complete solution. So what then helps us to go towards God? This is something that has been prescribed by the scriptures and has been emphasized by Swami. The three paths of karma, bhakti and jnana. The path of action, the path of devotion and the path of knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And science and technology has already been used so many times by our own dear brothers and sisters to go closer on these three paths. When we take the path of karma, I'm reminded of the incident and the experience narrated by Sister Padma Shri Ravindra. She is the young adults coordinator in the United States, and she said that when the COVID-19 pandemic struck, her whole family was in India while she and her husband were in the United States, and they really wanted to do something to help. In the bygone era, sitting in America, you can't do anything much to help people in India. But then, through the innovative use of technology, which is Excel sheets and WhatsApp and other such communication tools, they got in touch with a group of students who were working at Sai Krishna Charitable Trust, and they were manning helplines. So many cases began to erupt in India that helplines were there for people to contact if they needed oxygen cylinders, hospitalization, for different needs. But even these helplines would be jammed. The helpline for the helplines were youth and devotees in the United States. They put all the requirements and needs of the patients along with all the information in a neat format, and they started assisting them with the helplines, getting them in touch with the helplines, and if nothing else, they would counsel them, give them hope, give them courage, and their seva touched thousands of people across India. Technology made it possible. Yes, technology helped them practice seva. Similarly, technology such as a mobile ultrasound machine, and other such medical equipment has helped in reaching medical care to remote corners of East African countries like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. In 2024, for 10 days, a medical camp was held by the Medical Mission of Satsai International Organization, and the impact they had is so beautiful. It is touching. Dear brothers and sisters, for lack of time, I'm just showing you a 3-minute clip of that.
We have the best doctors that are here from anywhere in the world. They have come here to render their services free because they believe in mankind, they believe in love.
This idea came up last year. We did camps in Nigeria and Benin, and we noticed the extreme need for help in these countries. We decided to have camps in East Africa.
I came here because I heard that there is a free medical camp. My body has so many problems. They have given me walking crutches because the one I have was broken, and I'm so glad with them.
The East Africa Medical Mission was an inspiring and motivational spiritual journey of selfless service, where the medical team of the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization offered consultation, treatment, and free medicine across several specialties, including internal medicine, pediatrics, cardiology, gastroenterology, gynecology, neurology, ophthalmology and optometry, anesthesiology, surgery, physiotherapy and rehab medicine, and dentistry. A total of 5,605 patients were served in this beautiful service in just 8 days at 6 medical camps across the very same 3 countries in East Africa, graced by Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba in 1968, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania.
I've been very privileged that I was invited to this medical camp. It has opened my eyes into learning what the whole Sai group stands for.
As a young adult, this has been an incredibly transformative experience. It's kind of set me up to want to do this work for the rest of my life. So get your feet wet now. As a young adult, come, join the camps, help us out.
On behalf of the government of Kenya, particularly the Ministry of Health, we express our appreciation for this partnership that is bringing everybody together so that those in need of treatment can be treated.
When we come to devotional and spiritual activities, I think all of us are aware of how the whole activity has moved online through videos, through audios, through text. Everything is available at the touch of a finger, at the click of a button. That is the magic of technology. By just touching a button, I can hear Swami's discourses. How wonderful. But do I utilize it? Instead, I spend hours at night scrolling through my Instagram feed, scrolling through YouTube shorts, and exciting and, getting my mind attached to worldly things. That is why I'm saying that science and technology is available for taking us away from God or towards God. It's just about we choosing what we need to do. It's available. In fact, one beautiful meditation that Brother Sanjeevan does, he's part of the digital media team of the Satsai International Organization. Whenever we have these Akhanda bhajans, he takes footage which looks like this, for instance, and converts it into this. Look at the visual enhancement, look at the beauty, look at the creativity, look at the effort that has gone in to make it such a visual treat and delight for all of us. And in that process, he himself is meditating on the beautiful form of Swami. So also we have members who spend their time enhancing photographs. These are just examples that I'm giving of how we can use technology in our meditation, in our devotion. All of this, so much can be done. But then the challenge always lies in, yes, all this we know, but how do we do? How do we focus? How do we get that discipline? Well, the theme of this talk is how do we get discipline and focus on Swami in this age of growing science and technology. Well, remove that last part, in this age of growing science and technology. How do we get focus on Swami and discipline in our spirituality? That much is enough, because that remains the same throughout the ages. The distractions keep varying from time to time. In the Bhagawan era, when the rishis were meditating, it was the dancing apsaras that were the distraction, right? Well, today we have mobile phone, iPad, we have the televisions. These are our distractions. Distractions and their types vary, but the method to gain focus is the same. And that is a three-step process. This three-step process Swami has explained in many different ways, and I'm just picking one little aspect of it. This is not the complete meaning and the complete understanding, but it is definitely useful for us in building our focus and discipline. What is this three-step process? The first step is jnatum, or to know, or to be aware. That is what this talk is intending to do, and that is what we should always remember. Be aware that the purpose of life is to go beyond the body, mind and senses, is to achieve God. Every time this awareness alone is enough to remind us to take the proper step when it comes to the next stage, which is drashtum. Jnatum is first, that is awareness and knowing. Drashtum, or seeing. What we see, when we have options that technology gives us, we are able to see clearly which is the option that we have to choose, this or that. The discriminatory aspect, that comes in the second stage, which is drashtum. And finally, the third one is praveshtum. It is not enough if we are aware and we know that this is the path to go to. We have to praveshtum, or enter that path. Having been aware of it, having known it, we have to plunge ahead and go ahead and act upon it. This is another area. All these three areas we have failures. First area of failure is we are not even aware. We are not even aware of this, and we just think life is about earning money, building career, building relationships. Though technically or theoretically we may state that no, life is about achieving the lotus feet of God. We are not aware of it at all. We are not aware of it at all, because all our actions are towards earning a livelihood, earning a career, earning a relationship. That's all we spend our time and energies into. So being aware is not just ordinary awareness, constant integrated awareness, as Swami would say. That is the CIA that we need to have, constant integrated awareness. That the ultimate goal of life is beyond the mind and body and senses. And then we have to see where technology is taking us away from God, away from this objective, and where it is taking us towards. And then pick the route that is going towards and start acting upon it. Dear brothers and sisters, I'm speaking to all of you as a fellow pilgrim, as a fellow traveler on this journey. May we all progress towards life's ultimate journey, which is our beloved Bhagawan, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. And I pray to Swami that he be with us every moment of our lives, and the love that we have for him in our hearts keeps growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.